what's happening? This is Andy coming to you again from my Daily Fun Club headquarters, and today's another very exciting day because my bass from Sofia, Bulgaria just arrived. KD basses, handcrafted by Kostadin Dimitrov. My relationship with Kostadin started when I was touring over in Bulgaria, and I met him. He brought me his really cool Picasso bass, which is an instrument that's patched together with a whole bunch of different types of colors of maple, and it was just an amazing work of art. We became friends, and he became interested in getting involved here at the Daily Funk Club, and we decided to build an instrument. And he asked me, what would you have? What would you like? So I went to his website, and I liked the Saturn model. That's what this is. It's the Saturn 5. And then from there, he sent me a list of all the woods and that were available, that he had dried and ready to go. And I chose this plum tree top. It's a figured plum tree book match top, okay? And, you know, I just fell in love with the figuring of it. I thought it was really, really classy looking and kind of understated, but yet, you know, super classy in that kind of wood look kind of way. I'll just go through the rest of the specs, and then we'll get into what it really sounds like. Okay, so it has the plum wood top, and then I asked him, because of the theme of the plum wood, I asked him to inlay this beautiful purple heart and maple plum fruit. So he did that by hand, and that just turned out absolutely beautiful. The back is spotted Balkan alder. The neck is Balkan maple, and the strips down the center here are wild cherry. Okay. Now, the special thing about this instrument is that the fingerboard is stabilized. Okay. Stabilizing is a cool process because what it does is it creates or it prevents the fingerboard from ever shrinking. Okay, so what they do is they take the piece of wood and they heat it way up, and it removes all the moisture, and then the empty air pockets, the empty wood cells, are then injected with an acrylic resin, and then it's heated back up again. Okay, and ultimately what happens is the wood becomes completely 100% stabilized, so it'll never shrink and it'll never dry. So the typical problem that we have with instruments with varying humidity is that the wood takes on the humidity level where it's at, and eventually you start to have shrinkage, and then the fret edges start to get sharp. Well, that will never happen with this instrument, so that's just totally amazing. It also has a Wenji veneer strip in between the top and the alder back. In terms of the electronics, I requested the Nordstrand Big Man pickups, and they're actually the Nordstrand Big Blades, I'm sorry. Nordstrand Big Blade pickups, and we went with the Noll 3-band preamp, okay? And I've never had the Noll preamp before, but it was recommended to me by Kostadin, and it sounds incredible. I can see why. And then it has a Hipshot bridge on it. It's a 34-inch scale, 18mm spacing. Let's give it a listen, okay? So right now, the EQ is flat, and it's both pickups. An important thing that I'm noticing right away is that the nut is cut perfectly, because there's no wolf tones. There's no, you know, sometimes when you play a chord, you hear some buzzing up in here. It's completely clean. Okay, so that's both pickups. Now we'll go to just the front pickup, still in passive mode. Okay, now just the back pickup. Sweet. So it's got that great back pickup mid-range growl. I just love these big blade pickups. I have them in several of my basses now, and I think I could probably honestly say it's my favorite pickup out right now. That one and the Big Man. That's why I said Big Man at the beginning, because I have two basses with the Big Man in it that I love as well. Okay, so let's bring in some EQ. Here's a little bit of bass and a little bit of treble. See if we can get the sizzle thing going. Oh yeah. Super killer modern slap sound there for sure. All right, so let's we'll flatten out the bass and the treble again, and we'll boost the mids. Nice. Yeah, I like this EQ. Real quiet. No noise. So, obviously, you know, he shielded it really, really well. And the level of detail and handwork that goes into this instrument, in terms of quality, I would put it along the lines right up there with my custom shop Warwick instruments in terms of the top quality instruments that I have in my whole entire collection. This one, I believe you can get a replica exactly like it. If you really, really want one, I encourage you to get one because it's awesome, for about $3,700 shipped. And, you know, it just depends, you know, the kind of player that you are and what you perceive as, you know, quality and instrument that you want and that you care about having. You see what I'm saying? To me, $3,700 is not a lot of money for this level of quality. It just depends on where you're coming from and where you're at. But yeah, I think it's worth every penny. So there's slapping with the mid-range. I had the mid-range still turned up. And you notice how much in focus and the clarity starts to emerge. Flatten the EQ back out again. I'm going to take it out of the middle position, slightly roll it to the front. This is kind of where I live a lot, is in the kind of without the EQ ramped up, without any booster or cut in the EQ, and I kind of take the pickup blender and I roll it slightly to the front a little bit. Or slightly to the back pickup. So I really like to, in that kind of place, I can really dig in and get that kind of really throaty voice out of the instrument. And I play with a lot of dynamic range. right, so there you have it. My KD custom Mr.Pum Saturn 5. And that's my my very first demo. I just took it out of the box and tuned it up, and there you have it. I haven't spent any time with it, and already I'm madly in love with it, and I can tell already that me and this instrument are going to become best friends and have a long and happy future together, playing a lot of gigs. So I encourage you to check out KD bassist Kostadin Dimitrov and get to know more about the beautiful work that he's doing there in Sofia, Bulgaria. Thanks.